Blake Shelton arrived on the set of Today with Jenna Friends expecting a relaxed, upbeat interview centered around his latest tour and music projects. The atmosphere was lively, the audience excited, and Jenna kicked things off with her usual warm and energetic tone. Blake joked with the crowd, sharing light banter that immediately set the room at ease. But beneath the humor, there was a subtle tension brewing that no one in the studio anticipated, setting the stage for what would become an unforgettable moment. As the interview began, Jenna asked Blake about his busy schedule and how he balances music, family, and television commitments. Blake responded casually, adding his signature humor. However, a shift occurred when Jenna brought up a topic that Blake had hoped to avoid. His expression tightened slightly, though he attempted to keep the tone light, brushing off the question with a half-hearted laugh that didn't quite reach his eyes. The audience sensed the change as Blake's usual charisma dimmed for a moment. Jenna noticed as well, but, wanting to maintain a smooth flow, continued her questions. Blake tried to steer the conversation back to his tour and upcoming projects, but Jenna pressed forward with curiosity, unintentionally crossing into the territory he had clearly signaled discomfort around. The next question touched even more directly on recent rumors circulating online. Blake paused, shifting in his seat, visibly annoyed. He answered cautiously, choosing his words carefully. Jenna, still smiling, attempted to lighten the moment, unaware that her persistence was slowly escalating the tension. Blake's responses grew shorter, and the playful mood from earlier had evaporated. As Jenna continued, she brought up Blake's personal life in a tone that suggested harmless conversation. But Blake, already frustrated by the earlier probing, stiffened. His tone changed, his expressions more serious. The audience sensed the rising tension and grew quieter. Blake made it clear that certain topics were not up for a discussion, his voice calm but edged with irritation. Jenna attempted to adjust, but by then the momentum of the conversation had shifted too far. Blake, feeling cornered, leaned back in his chair with a look that signaled clear impatience. He explained that interviews should respect boundaries, especially when it comes to personal matters. Jenna, still trying to maintain control of the segment, offered a brief apology, though Blake's frustration did not ease. The conversation became noticeably awkward as the show attempted to move forward. Jenna introduced a related question, believing it would help clarify Blake's feelings. Instead, it only triggered more irritation. Blake's features tightened, and his tone became noticeably more assertive as he expressed his dissatisfaction with the direction of the interview. The audience reacted with a mixture of surprise and silence, sensing the interview unraveling. Blake, visibly fed up, shook his head and attempted to redirect the conversation once again. But Jenna, aiming to explain the intent behind her questions, inadvertently pushed the tension even further. Her words, though well-meaning, clashed with Blake's growing frustration. When Blake responded, there was no humor left in his voice. He pointed out that speculation and rumors should never overshadow his work or become the focus of a professional interview. His tone was stern, and Jenna realized she had crossed a boundary she hadn't recognized. The air in the studio felt heavy as everyone waited for what Blake would say next. Jenna attempted to bring the mood back by apologizing once more and shifting toward a lighter subject, but Blake was clearly too upset to move on easily. He spoke candidly, expressing that he felt blindsided and put in an uncomfortable position. Jenna, taken aback, tried to reassure him, but the damage was already done. The energy in the studio was now visibly tense. Blake's discomfort was impossible to ignore. The friendly banter that typically defined his talk show appearances was gone, replaced with the stern seriousness that surprised even longtime fans. He added that he came on the show to discuss his music, not rumors or tabloid stories. Jenna nodded, accepting responsibility, but Blake's frustration continued to simmer. He emphasized that the entertainment industry often forgets that celebrities are human and deserve respect. His words, though controlled, carried a weight that highlighted just how deeply the moment had affected him. The producers, sensing the situation escalating, tried signaling for a topic change, but Blake was already emotionally invested in addressing the issue. He took a deep breath, trying to calm himself, but the simmering irritation remained evident. The audience watched in stunned silence as the exchange grew increasingly raw. Jenna, still wanting to salvage the segment, gently suggested revisiting the original topic of his tour. Blake, however, responded with a curt shake of his head, indicating he wasn't ready to move on. The tension had reached a breaking point, and the atmosphere in the studio grew thick with unease. Finally, Blake stood up from his chair, an action that instantly silenced the entire room. Jenna, startled, attempted to stop him, reaching out slightly, but Blake lifted a hand and calmly stated that he needed a moment. His expression was firm, his posture resolute. Without another word, he began walking toward the edge of the set. The audience gasped, watching Blake stride off stage, leaving Jenna momentarily speechless. Shaken, she attempted to reassure the crowd, explaining that sometimes interviews take unexpected turns. Her voice, though steady, carried traces of shock from the unanticipated walk-off. Backstage, Blake took a few moments to collect himself. He expressed frustrations to crew members, explaining that his boundaries had been crossed and that he was tired of addressing rumors rather than his work. The staff offered him space and support, understanding the emotional intensity of live television. On stage, Jenna attempted to regain composure. She addressed the audience, acknowledging the tension and expressing that her intention had never been to make Blake uncomfortable. Her words were sincere, but it was clear she was still processing what had happened. Producers quickly initiated an unscheduled commercial break. During the break, Jenna spoke privately with her team, expressing concern about how the situation unfolded. She asked whether she had missed cues that Blake was uncomfortable earlier, realizing the importance of sensitivity in interviews. Blake, meanwhile, paced quietly backstage, venting his feelings to a trusted assistant. He reiterated that interviews should not revolve around speculation or gossip, especially when guests have made their boundaries clear. His frustration was not about a single question but a pattern he felt was becoming too common. After several minutes, production staff approached Blake gently, asking if he wanted to return to wrap up the segment. Blake considered it, still visibly tense. He ultimately declined, stating that he needed time to cool off and reflect before speaking publicly again. Jenna returned from the commercial break alone, addressing the viewers with poise. She acknowledged that emotions had run high, and she emphasized that celebrities, like anyone else, deserve respect and sensitivity. Her words helped ease some of the tension, though the absence of Blake remained noticeable. Online, the moment immediately began gaining traction. Clips of Blake walking off the set circulated rapidly, with fans expressing shock and support across social media. Many viewers sympathized with Blake's desire to maintain privacy, praising him for standing up for himself. Critics and commentators chimed in on talk shows and entertainment platforms. Some argued that interviewers should be more mindful of boundaries, while others believed Jenna had merely followed a typical conversational path. The incident sparked debates about the responsibility of hosts in managing sensitive topics. Blake's team eventually released a brief statement, clarifying that Blake walked off not out of anger toward Jenna personally but due to discomfort with certain topics discussed. The statement emphasized Blake's appreciation for the show but also highlighted the importance of mutual respect in interviews. Jenna also released a message expressing empathy and understanding. She explained that she had not intended to push Blake into an uncomfortable discussion and regretted the misunderstanding. Her calm and sincere tone helped temper the public's reaction. Fans continued discussing the incident for days, debating whether Blake was justified or overly reactive. Many concluded that the moment was simply an emotional response to feeling cornered in a public setting. The walk-off became a symbol of the tension between celebrity privacy and media curiosity. Behind the scenes, producers began reviewing the segment in detail, analyzing whether earlier cues should have been noticed. They discussed implementing new guidelines for sensitive topics and ensuring better real-time communication between hosts and staff during emotionally charged moments. Blake eventually returned to social media with a lighthearted post, subtly reassuring fans that he was doing fine. His humorous tone indicated that he was ready to move forward. Still, he did not directly reference the incident, respecting both his own boundaries and Jenna's. In the end, Blake Shelton's unexpected walk-off from Today With Jenna Friends became one of the most talked-about moments of the season. It served as a reminder that even seasoned professionals can reach their emotional limits. For viewers, The moment highlighted the importance of empathy, respect, and the human side of celebrity life, proving that every persona, even a superstar, has boundaries worth honoring. In the aftermath of the incident, the Today With Jenna Friends team worked quickly to smooth things over with their audience. The producers spoke with the crew, reminding everyone that live television often brings unexpected moments. They stressed the importance of being flexible and respectful of each guest's personal limits. The crew also offered support to Jenna, who was still processing the walk-off. Jenna, reflecting on the incident, realized that she had underestimated the emotional weight of the questions. While she never intended to upset Blake, the situation revealed how difficult it can be to navigate personal boundaries in a live setting. The experience left her questioning how she could be more sensitive in future interviews. Blake, on the other hand, took some time to recharge after the confrontation. He realized that while he had the right to defend his boundaries, there was a broader lesson to be learned about how to handle such situations with grace. His team encouraged him to focus on the positive aspects of the interview, such as his music and his loyal fans. As the day progressed, both Blake and Jenna received an outpouring of support from fans on social media. While many sympathized with Blake for his need to protect his privacy, others showed understanding toward Jenna, acknowledging that interviews are unpredictable. The debate continued online about whether Blake's reaction was justified or whether Jenna had overstepped. The incident sparked a larger conversation within the entertainment industry about the delicate balance between the curiosity of the media and the personal boundaries of celebrities. Experts discussed the importance of respecting these boundaries in the age of social media and constant public scrutiny. Many argued that celebrities should have more control over how and when personal matters are discussed. Behind the scenes at Today With Jenna Friends, the producers reviewed the footage, analyzing the interview's flow and discussing how they could improve the guest experience in future shows. They recognized that while live TV is dynamic, it was clear that the conversation had gone off course and needed to be better managed. Meanwhile, Blake's team issued a statement clarifying the situation. They emphasized that Blake's walk-off was not a personal attack on Jenna but a reaction to feeling uncomfortable with the line of questioning. His representatives reiterated that he valued privacy in hope that the situation would not overshadow his career or the purpose of the interview. As news outlets covered the story, some highlighted the emotional vulnerability that celebrities are often required to expose on air. Blake's decision to walk off the set was seen by many as an act of self-preservation, a demonstration that even celebrities deserve respect and emotional space. In the following days, Jenna continued to apologize publicly, expressing gratitude for the opportunity to learn from the incident. She reached out to Blake's team to ensure that there were no lingering hard feelings. Blake, in turn, acknowledged her professionalism in addressing the situation and thanked her for being understanding. The public's response to the situation became more balanced as the story developed. People acknowledged that both Blake and Jenna had reacted humanly to the stressful and unexpected circumstances. The event became a prime example of the emotional complexity involved in celebrity interviews, highlighting how quickly situations can spiral when personal boundaries are pushed too far. Jenna, in particular, took steps to engage her audience and make them feel heard. She posted a heartfelt message on social media, thanking her fans for their understanding and support. In the post, she emphasized that she valued the lessons she had learned and promised to approach future interviews with a greater awareness of boundaries and sensitivities. Blake, after a period of reflection, returned to social media to reassure his fans. He posted a lighthearted video of himself enjoying time with his family, reminding followers of his focus on positivity and creative projects. He chose not to revisit the walk-off incident in detail, preferring to move forward and leave the situation behind. As time went on, the incident became a talking point in the broader media landscape. Many entertainment experts discussed how live talk shows are evolving, acknowledging that guests and hosts alike must be more aware of one another's emotional cues. It was clear that the nature of celebrity interviews was changing, with a growing emphasis on empathy and respect for personal space. The debate also expanded to include the public's relationship with celebrities. While many fans appreciated Blake's honesty, others questioned whether viewers should be privy to every detail of a celebrity's life. This conversation opened up a broader dialogue about celebrity culture, privacy, and the ethical responsibilities of journalists and media outlets. In the end, Blake's walk-off moment served as a catalyst for change in how celebrity interviews are conducted. It reminded both media professionals and fans that there is a fine line between curiosity and respect. Ultimately, the incident sparked reflection on the need to balance personal boundaries with the expectations of the public.